This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time. We talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. We keep you engaged, we keep you informed, and we keep you as active as possible during these difficult times. But we carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us here. Direct Access, your financial services partner. Score Energy Drinks, official partner to Western Province Club Rugby. Thorburn Specialized Services. Intercape, official transport provider to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. And of course, Yes Electrical, down on Voortrekker Road. Folks, we've got a jam-packed show for you this evening. We will be catching up with Zimasa Malunga, former captain at Langa. They had a fantastic 2019 season and were, of course, ready to get out of the starting blocks in 2020. We speak to Junaid Murat from Western Province Rugby. He'll be telling us more about the 3 teams, 1 city eSports challenge for Western Province Rugby. We'll catch up with Faisal Felton. He'll tell us what is happening in the world of compliancy and preparation to be COVID ready. And we'll speak to the Andries Karstens from Durban. Tell us about the under-20s. Jerome Parvat joins us in that interview as we talk about some of their preparations for the under-20s and under-21s. And of course, we'll catch up with Phil Cronje from Hamilton's Rugby Football Club. They, of course, were dying to get ready for the 2020 season. But starting the show off this evening, a darling of Western Province, darling of the DHL Stormers, and certainly someone who has been very connected with the world of Western Province Club Rugby. We are thrilled to have him on the show with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Lades. Dylan, fantastic to have you on the show. How are things on your side?
How's it, JP? Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been back here, so thank you for having me again.
Yeah, well, you've never been shy to come on the camera, speak to us, support Club Rugby. I mean, for us, that's been a real pleasure, just being able to speak to you. And I think from our side, we're grateful for that.
Thank you very much.
But you've, of course, got a Cape Town feeling. I mean, you are from Cape Town. You're homeborn.
Yeah, no, like you said, I've always been keen to come and chat to you guys. I think for me personally, you know, I grew up next to the rugby field here in Strand with my family. You know, being so rugby mad, you know, the club rugby scene was my sort of my vibe for a long time, you know, and up until I obviously had to take my Saturday afternoons elsewhere with Western Province and the Stormers. But you know, for a very long time, that was how my weekend went. You know, Saturday afternoon watching my dad and my uncles and they play club rugby. So no, I'm always keen to come and chat to you guys and to find out what's happening on the club rugby front. Yeah.
Do you think that stood you instead for the understanding of what Western Province Rugby is about? I know I did a talk for you guys the other day about club rugby, which you, of course, know intimately. The understanding of how our club rugby structures work. I mean, do you think that puts you in a good position?
Yeah, I think it does. Especially, you know, obviously we have guys from all over the country, you know, coming down to play rugby in Cape Town for the Stormers. But you know, for someone from the region and for someone, you know, like I said, who grew up, you know, being next to the rugby field for so long, you sort of get an understanding of what club rugby means to the Western Province, the Stormers, and most importantly to the people of the communities. You know, I think if like for me personally, I know like whenever there's a big derby in Strand, you know, and we have an off weekend, I'm not making any plans. I'm coming straight home to come and watch the game. You know, and I think it's. Some of my mates always joke with me. They say, "No, you don't try and put a cap on or try to hide or anything. You're not a hero. Yeah, the local guys who play first team, those are the real heroes. So people aren't gonna want to take a photo with you. You know. So I think, you know, like I said, you get that sort of understanding of what club rugby means to the community and that sort of thing. And I know, especially here in Strand, this is a rugby crazy area, and I know. Like the sort of hidden gems that are sitting here, you know, just hopefully waiting to get their opportunity.
Yeah, we see some incredible derbies there. All Saints, Strand United, St George's, Helderberg.
Yeah,
I mean, that whole Silurians, even Silurians on the edge there, Macassar and Eersterivier and Wraithby. These guys everybody's very close to each other. I mean, that must be. Do you think people are aware of how big club rugby is? I mean, when you drive down that road and you see that there's a derby on, there's probably 5,000-6,000 people around the field on a Saturday afternoon.
Exactly. That's the thing. I don't know how many of the Stormers guys have actually been down to a local club derby, because you'd be surprised. People always make a big deal, take nothing away from the fact of a Paul boys game, which is also massive. But I once went to go to watch my cousin who played for Tygerberg. I went to go watch his game, and they played in Bellagh.
Massive.
And I promise you, I walked into those gates and I was just thinking to myself, what is going on here? And it was my first time watching the Tygerberg Bellagh derby. But I mean, it was in Bellagh, and the place was a standstill. I don't think there was one single person at home in Bellagh. Everyone was on that field watching that game that day. So it's massive. It's really massive, and I think people really, especially for professionals who sort of you sort of every weekend is a pressure game for you, and there's so much on the line all the time, but once you have a weekend off and you come down and watch a club derby and you see how much fun those guys are having, I think it will help you a lot as well, just to realize the passion and the enjoyment that actually goes into playing the game, without the pressure or feeling like you need to win every weekend. And I think that's been like the standout factor. You just see so much passion from the fans and the coaches, the players, everything. Just it puts together a nice story for local derbies like that.
Yeah. How's the lockdown been for you?
It's been alright. I think obviously the tough thing for me and sort of every athlete out there is just been the fact that you sort of got to make do with what you've got in terms of home training facilities and stuff like that. So I've been obviously staying at my place in Rondebosch, which is in a complex. So it's a bit difficult for me to go and do a couple of 100-meter shuttles.
Yeah.
But I've been able to sort of have a couple of weights and do some training there, and got a watt bike from Virgin Active, so I've been able to sort of do a bit of cardio. But for the last couple of days, I've been at home with my parents in Strand, and it's been good to train with my brother, to see what he's been doing. He put me through a tough session yesterday. So that's probably why I've decided to sleep in a bit this morning. But yeah, no, it's been tough, and I think also during this time, I think just how you make use of your time is probably what's going to put you in good stead for once everything gets sort of back to a new normal, like they say. I think if you come out of this not having really found a new hobby or learned a new skill, then you haven't really made good use of the time.
Yeah. Some of the guys, I mean, we spoke to Chris Van Sale, and he's busy doing business management on the one side, and we've spoken to a few of the guys, and it does seem like they've each got their own sort of activity. I think maybe the first few weeks was a bit of a shock, but settled in. So you've taken the decision, the big jump. You've had a long career at Western Province. I mean, we're obviously sad to see you leave, but it was always on the cards at some other stage for you.
Yeah, I think so. I've had a couple of opportunities to leave before, and I just mentally maybe wasn't ready. There was one or two things I still needed to try and achieve and sort out sort of on a personal front. And when the opportunity came now recently to move to La Rochelle, it was something that it took me a very long time to make the decision, first of all. But it was something that I just felt like now is the right time. If I don't do it now, I'm probably gonna probably never want to leave Cape Town. And
Yeah.
for me, it was just about sort of getting a different experience, challenging myself, and also just seeing what else is out there. It's been a great time in Cape Town with the Stormers and Western Province, and it's always be home. And the people that I've worked with, they know how passionate I am about Stormers and Western Province rugby. So I think for me, it's just about getting a different challenge for myself as a rugby player, and also experiencing different off-field adventures, as a human being, I suppose, and helping me grow and.
So have you been practicing your French at all?
I have. I'm not very good. I'm not very good, but I can get by, and I think after the hello, how you doing? I'm good sort of thing. Then I need.
Well, look, we still. I mean, until you go, we still think of you as DHL Stormers fullback that has played plenty of games for us for Western Province and represented us. And so no. Until you're actually on that side, you're one of our homeboys. I got to ask you, for me, the one memory that jumps out for me, I mean, is I think it was against the Chiefs, that backflip pass of yours, where you managed to somehow miraculously slide that ball and get it. I can't remember who took the ball from you, but I mean, you've had some incredible memories here at Western Province. What would be your top one? If you think, is there a top one, or is it just plenty?
There's a lot that stand out, especially that pass. But there's so many that I can talk about, whether it's individual or a season or a couple of moments. But for me, something that will always be with me, a great memory, is my first try at Newlands was against the Blues in 2015. And then just my 50th cap for the Stormers. I mean, it was always a dream. You get to play one and you move on to 10, and then to get to 50 was really cool, really special. And then I think the sort of 2017 season for me personally, I think I played some of my best rugby during that time, and then was fortunate enough to be called up to the Springboks. So I think there's a couple of moments that stand out for me. But it's I think just all together, on field, off field, the friendship that I managed to create throughout this time, it's just sort of put the cherry on top of a really special time and a journey at the Stormers.
So you've still got a bit of time before you go. Are you practicing with I mean, you guys apparently now are allowed to do some level of isolated training as a professional sport. Are you obviously with the guys, and you guys have kind of reunited a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm still with the guys, and will be up until the end of the month, sort of when my contract with Western Province and the Stormers run out. But so the last week and a bit, it's just been getting guys into the HPC, getting them screened and tested, just basically to make sure we can all go ahead with the training as planned. And thereafter we'll be going in groups of 5, one at a time. So basically the only people that's going to be at the HPC is the player coming in to do conditioning and field work, maybe with a coach and the conditioning coach and the physio. So in that entire HPC space, there's going to be 4 people at a time, and I must say they've done a really good job in keeping us in there for a short amount of space at a time, but managing to be very effective in what they're trying to do. So I went in for screening last week and a fitness test just to see where you're at. And then throughout this week, some guys were going in as well. But I think the plan is basically to start next week, Monday, with sort of groups of 5 doing conditioning to try and get everyone up to a steady pace to be able to sort of flow into what's going to be a much longer pre-season now.
Yeah. Dylan, we're going to leave it at that. Obviously, we hope to catch up with you again before you go. But in the meantime, we can just say stay safe, of course. Practice all those precautions and say hello to everybody out there. And I don't know if you've got a last shout out for the guys that are watching, for the fans.
No, just probably just say thank you to the people of Cape Town, and for always supporting the team and coming out to Newlands, making it that much more special to play there. Obviously, but disappointing that we couldn't finish the Super Rugby season the way we planned and wanted to. But and thank you to you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to chat to you guys. So thanks for that.
No, it's our privilege. All right, Dylan, we'll catch up with you soon. Stay safe. You can go and have breakfast now.
Yeah, gone away. Nice cup of coffee. Cheers, Dave.
Here we go. Folks, Dylan Lades, darling of Western Province Rugby. We're so grateful to have him on the show. Of course, he's staying with us until he has to go, until the very last minute. He's had such an incredible career at Western Province, and it's a long, long way from over. So I'm pretty sure we'll be speaking to Dylan on a regular basis going into the future. But let's see how that goes. Right, folks. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll catch up with Junaid Murat from Western Province Rugby. And Junaid's going to tell us a little bit more about the 3 Teams, 1 City eSports Challenge that the DHL Stormers are about to embark on. Don't go away. See you in a sec. Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV time. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and of course we give some mileage to Western Province Rugby and the Stormers and what they're up to, and we love touching base with the guys from Western Province Rugby. And for those of you that are not aware of it, well, Western Province Rugby's got some great new initiatives in place. And to tell me more about that is Western Province Rugby board member, or exco member, Junaid Murat. Junaid, nice to have you on the show. Haven't chatted for you for a long time.
JP, thanks a lot for having me. I haven't been back for probably longer than a year, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, you've had your hands full with all the high-profile things, but one of the things that we've noticed from a Western Province Rugby point of view, from a sport perspective all around the world, is that with the coronavirus, the lockdown has come into effect and has really kind of hampered a lot of sporting movements that the clubs are doing. And you guys have come up with a new initiative.
Yeah, so look, obviously with lockdown and sport being cancelled and the uncertainty on whether we will proceed and when we will proceed, we had to be innovative and come up with some ideas to sort of keep our sponsors happy, to keep fans engaged, to just create content out there, seeing that there was no sport. And then, with the guys in the office and, the marketing team, we decided to run the DHL Stormers eSports Challenge.
But when we talk about the eSports component, we're talking about things like PlayStation and Xbox and Wii or whatever online gaming. That's basically what we're talking about.
Correct, yeah. So whether you're playing FIFA 20 or whether you're playing Call of Duty or CSGO or Formula 1 or whatever, everyone's doing it. They're doing it online. The fans are doing it. The players themselves are doing it. So we just thought, let's bring it all together and do our DHL Stormers Esports Challenge.
Yeah. Okay, so behind you, you've got this banner. It says 3 Teams, 1 City. Is that what it is? It's 3 Teams, 1 City. We're talking about the DHL Stormers, and who gets to play?
Right, so the hashtag 3 Teams, 1 City campaign, is between the Stormers, DHL Stormers, Cape Cobras, and Cape Town City FC. So, we thought instead of just doing it on our own, we would bring the other sporting codes, so cricket and soccer, and the 3 biggest teams and franchises within that sporting codes in the Western Cape or in Cape Town.
Yeah.
We bring them together, so each one would have their esports challenge, but sort of where our guys that, let's say, end in our top 8 would be able to play against the Cobras and against City, and we're bringing fans together, and we just thought 3 teams, 1 city. It's a perfect campaign. Bring everyone together and engage sort of on this digital gaming platform.
So what are the fans able to see? I'm assuming this is a little bit like the Premier League football, where you can go online and you can see the football players playing against each other and you actually see them on the screen?
Yeah, so basically our fans would be able to enter. There's some of the pro players that are playing across Cobras and City and Stormers. We will then decide which of those games we stream. So then it would be exactly like your e-Premier League. So you'll see the 2 players, you'll see the game being played. We'd have commentary, and that would be streamed. So obviously we'd stream it via the different social media channels or YouTube channels.
Okay, so if I'm a player, if I'm a gamer and I play FIFA 20 or Xbox or PlayStation, how do I sign up? How do I come and play against you or play against Skara or one of the guys?
So we will release those details, and it would be on all the social media channels of the different teams. We'd do a press release. So there'd be a link. You'd go in, you'd register name, surname, email address, and once you're registered, registrations will probably close like an hour before the first qualifier kicks off, which is on the 20th of June. So the cool thing is with the structure, just to get it, is that we have more than 1 qualifier. So if you miss the first one or you don't sort of reach the playoffs or go through to the next round, you can always enter the following week. There would be another one that you can enter. So we're keeping it going for about 4 sort of qualifiers before we actually reach that group stages and knockouts, etc.
So that's fantastic. It means that all the Stormers faithful, all the fans of Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers can actually sign up and participate and be part of the group.
Correct. No, perfect. And obviously we'll also have some really good gamers. I know that 1 or 2 of the Stormers players are actually good gamers, so they'd be playing to win it. So.
Oh, really? So it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, look, so there's great prizes up for grabs. Prizes to the value of like 200,000 Rand that sponsors have come on board with. So that is also something to play for. And then obviously bragging rights.
Yes. Yeah. Which I think is probably the most important thing, is that you've got the bragging rights to say I beat you.
Yeah, look, for the first time, a fan that can actually be representing a DHL Stormers team. In this challenge, and they could be coming up against a Cape Cobras player or a Cape Town City player. Yeah, so part of it, you'd get replica jerseys. You'd be wearing that jerseys when you go into that final rounds. If it's a live event, you'd be a DHL Stormers player. And, yes, it's for eSports and FIFA 20, but albeit it being for that weekend or week, you are the DHL Stormers representative in that tournament, which is great for our fans.
I think that's great, Junaid. It's a great initiative. It's quite a lot of forward thinking. I think these are the kind of things that we need to see, especially under the current conditions with the lockdown. And so, no, great stuff. We're looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with next.
Cool, JP. Thanks a lot. And I think there's some more stuff in the pipeline, but we'll keep you updated, and hopefully within the next day or 2, we'll release all the details around the entries, the prizes, and where people can register.
Right, folks, that's of course the eSports Challenge coming up now. The DHL Stormers participating in the 3 teams, 1 city eSports Challenge. Really looking forward to that. And as you can see, the sports movement certainly is digitally active. And certainly that's very exciting, because eSports is one of the world's biggest platforms at the moment. People out there playing on Xbox and PlayStation and a number of other digital aspects. So look out for that announcement, and you will soon be also able to sign up for the eSports Challenge. 3 teams, 1 city. Very exciting. Folks, we did manage to now catch up with Faisal Felton. He joins us on the line now, and Faisal is going to talk to us a little bit about their planning and preparation to be COVID ready.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV time, and we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And as you know, we of course are in regular contact with the professional side of things. And of course, as you know, lockdown has restricted player movement and practices and training, but there's been some relaxation of late, and we do seem now to have some movement around the professional side. And of course, at Western Province Rugby, the guys are actively busy making sure that they are complying with the regulations in terms of training. And to tell me a little bit more about that now is Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby. Faisal, nice to have you back. Hope you're still safe and well on your side.
Yeah, no, good evening, JP. Good evening, listeners. Yeah, it's always good to be back. Under circumstances, nice to have a bit of interaction with the people outside. I think, myself, I've been under lockdown, have been working from home. So it's always good to have a bit of interaction out there.
Faisal, you guys have, of course, been very hard at work behind the scenes, getting things COVID ready. One of the parts that we've noticed is how much preparation you've been doing together with SA Rugby and World Rugby.
Yeah, no, definitely, JP. I think, the moment lockdown started, we've been engaging with SA Rugby. I think I must commend SA Rugby in terms of the planning and preparation that has been done, the involvement of the various unions. I think from our side, it's, the one key thing is, it's about understanding the virus, understanding in terms of what we can and can't do. And I think it's about, putting in the necessary protocols in place. And I must say, the interaction that we've had with the other unions in terms of, working together, trying to facilitate having a working document has helped a lot. I think from our side, my involvement is also looking at it from a club perspective. Should we go back? The question is the implementations and the protocols that need to be in place.
So I was particularly impressed by looking at the World. I went on it myself to see firsthand, because I saw in your newsletter that you mentioned about the courses, the free online courses that World Rugby offer that they call player welfare. And two of those courses were COVID-related courses, the one for administrator awareness, but also one for coaches and players in terms of being, call it, like, for lack of a better word, COVID certified.
Yeah, no, definitely, JP. Like I said, from World Rugby side, they've sort of set the standard in terms of what needs to happen in terms of, compliance in it. And I think what we've done from SA Rugby, Western Province and the unions is adapted accordingly. The online course, as you said, it's fantastic. It gives you a better insight in terms of what's happening. I will encourage the clubs. I think that will definitely be one of the requirements that should we go back, you need to be compliant. So basically with the online course, you will get a certificate certifying you to say that, you understand in terms of what COVID's about, in terms of what needs to happen, what should be in place. Whilst we have time and you guys at home, there's a course for administrators, and there's a course also for the coaches and the players that they would need to do. So definitely do the course.
But one of the things that you mentioned is compliance. So I think if we understand things correctly in the way that the World Health Organization is talking and World Rugby is talking, before you get to practicing again, venues are going to have to be compliant. And they're probably going to have to check in with the likes of your office to get some sort of compliance certificate or some kind of compliance check process. Where do you think we're going on that?
Yeah, so I think from the union side, what we will basically do once we get the go-ahead is to have a protocol in place in terms of what the club needs to do and what the club should have in place. There's a number of things. It's not just compliance at the venue. There's compliance prior to arriving at the venue. So, the way that the virus works is it's a management in terms of how to manage it. And I think the one key thing is also from the player side, what the requirements are from them. So before they get to the field, there's a number of assessments that they need to do and checks that they need to do. Once they tick all the boxes, they'll come to the facility, and then basically it's having stuff in place at the facility in terms of, your screening, your temperatures, and the questionnaires and stuff that you would need.
We're going to leave it at that, but I think that the clubs are lucky to have someone who is coordinating this and looking at the requirements, because it's a mammoth job. It's a mammoth job to work out all of the micro details of what it is to be able to use a facility.
No, definitely. That's a key thing, Jokes. I think the main thing is it's more admin. And like from your side, I think one of the, maybe going forward in that, there's some of the stuff that we need to look at in terms of, from an administrative side, it's becoming a lot more demanding. The guys want to go out, they want to play. But from an admin side, it just means more work for us in terms of making sure the necessary is in place.
I know that you guys have got a big job on your hands, and we'll be talking to you on a regular basis to find out what the clubs need to do out there. So thanks for joining us. Faisal Felton there, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Faisal Felton, Western Province Rugby. And do yourself a favour, if you're watching the show, go to that World Rugby website and do that player welfare course. It's free. It's for the coaches and the players and the administrators about the awareness of the COVID virus, but also to become COVID ready. Free certificate online at World Rugby. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll catch up with Phil Cronje, Hamilton's Rugby Club. Find out what it is that they're up to. Hello everybody, welcome back. Club Rugby TV time. We talked to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and we're lucky now to have him on the line. It's been a while, but Phil Cronje from Hamilton's.
Hi JP, thanks for having me on the show. It's a long time, but actually my first time on your show. Been in Club Rugby for a while now, but happy to be on your show.
Well, I think we've interviewed you on the side of the field maybe quite a few times. Maybe not on the show yet.
Yes, those times. I think there's a couple of those sessions that happen, but nice to be on the show.
Yeah, well, Western Province Rugby certainly has got a lot of rich talent in the structures. I mean, we've got a professional coach, and you've been busy in the Super League A structures. Of course, back in those days, Unimil was, I think, in Super League B. And now we've got you back. So certainly looks like we've got a wealth of talent. But Hamilton's is now your new challenge. 2020, of course, lockdown. You must be a little bit disappointed that you can't get back on the park just yet. You must have been hungry for action.
JP, I must be honest with you, not to being arrogant. I think if there's one club that's really disappointed that the league is not starting, that's us here at Hamilton's. I think we started off very well. We started off with a camp in Rawsonville. Let's call it a team building, and then we played obviously Rawsonville there. They're in the top 3 in the Boland last year. We took 2 teams there. It was tough in the first game, or let's call it in the first group, but the second group that played in the main game. For the guys that obviously we stayed in tents. Most of the guys probably slept an hour. And then we had a fantastic day there. I think Robertson looked very well out of after us. There was about 5,000 people there. We had a good outing there. And then we got back. We played NTK, we played Heidelberg. With all the respect, I thought that we haven't been tested. Obviously, the big test would come up against Durbell. And I thought that night at Kraaifontein Rugby Day, we got one over Durbell.
Let's take a look at that. We've actually got the highlights of that match here. Talk us through it. Let's take a look.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
But we show good character on the night, and that's why we would like to say that we are really unhappy that the league is not going ahead, or we don't know what's going to happen. But also from our side, we did go big on the recruitment, and obviously in the results you can see that. I think just the important thing for us now is to hang on to the guys that we've got. And then rebuild come next year, or maybe what's happening at the end of the year.
Phil, you mentioned it yourself. You've got some big names that are on the cards there, in your structures. I mean, we've been over the years following some of the players, and one of the big names that jumps out there is Freddie Miller. And then you've got Bernardo Botha and Caleb Oosthuizen and JP Lewis. You guys seem to, like you say, you've recruited. You've got an interesting squad so far.
Yeah, I must be honest with you, JP. We at the beginning of the year, we can't do this without management. I think he hates when I call him Uncle Dave, but he's playing a big role there with his management team. We changed a couple of things around. We've got a good structure going, obviously with Morgs there as well.
Yeah.
We've got a good coaching second team, third team under 20s. We set our goals for ourselves, and yeah, there is a couple of names that's running around there, and that's magnificent. So obviously from all the sessions that we have, we can still see that these guys are heavy interested. They like the environment, and that is something that we picked up in, let's call it 2 months, part of the pre-season, what happened. And at the end of the day, so far so good. Like I said, it's hard work, but hard work pays off, and that's what we gonna do our absolute best to hang on to those guys.
Just quickly, Phil, are you in touch with the players at the moment? I mean, are you guys keeping them active behind the scenes, ready to go?
Yeah, we all started off by keeping in touch with the guys on the Zooms, and we set out competitions there, and we gave them programs. But as you know, if there's no actual date, or let's call it when a league or a friendly start, you could see some of the guys fall off the bus in the sense of the interest. But yeah, now we do it every second week. We touch base on just catching up. How's the guys doing? How can we help out? And you know what? To give you an example how we missed this game, we as management, we started off with a group, and we still follow our league. And every Monday we sit down, we pick teams. We have match reports. We say who's the prize scorers, who's got bonus point, who's injured. So yeah, it's something that I've experienced for the first time. But I just think we started off a new culture there. We started off a family vibe. And that's good what I'm seeing at the moment at the club.
Yeah. Phil, we're going to leave it at that. We're looking forward to finding out more about what you guys are doing behind the scenes. We've had Morgan Newman obviously on the show on a number of occasions, but his job is to talk to us about all club rugby, not only about Hamilton's. So as I say, we're looking forward to chatting with you guys again.
Yeah, thanks a lot, JP, and everybody need to stay safe, and look after yourself, and then we chat soon.
Thanks, Phil. Folks, Phil Cronje there, of course, head coach at Hamilton's. Hamilton's raring to go, and hopefully we'll get some information that the clubs can start some level of training. But we'll wait and see what all the various announcements are. We'll take a break. We'll come back to you soon.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV time. We talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the under-20 structure in Western Province Rugby. And joining me on the line is Andries Karstens, under-20 coach at Western Province Rugby. Andries, at least not at Western Province Rugby, at Durban. Andries, hoe lyk dinge daar by jou?
Baie lekker, JP, lekker om weer terug te wees. Laaste keer wat ek hier was net voor die World Cup final, saam met Jerome.
Andries, ons amper nie herken nie met daai baard van jou. Hooplik herken jou spelers op die oomblik. Ons is op die lyn saam met Jerome Paarwater. Hy kan alles hoor wat jy sê, meneer Jerome.
Nee, JP, baie lekker. Eintlik eerste keer vandag weer baie lekker dag gehad en weer bietjie uit gewees en op 'n rugbyveld te wees na 'n lang tyd was weer goed.
Andries is saam met ons op die lyn, Jerome. Andries, ek het gedink vanaand is 'n goeie geselsie opportunity saam met Jerome. Jy is besig met die onder 20s en Jerome is besig met die onder 21s. Maar en ons het 'n game hier so van Durban, maar Andries, van jou kant af, hoe doen ons as 'n structure? Ons praat so min oor die onder 20s.
Ja, JP, ek het self, mense het mos baie tyd om te dink oor waarmee ons besig is en wat ons doen. Toe sit en dink ek, toe besef ek, ons het 45 klubs wat in die onder 20 liga speel van die WP Rugby. En die meeste unies in Suid-Afrika het nie eers 'n onder 20 liga nie.
Sure.
Ons sit met 45 klubs wat in die 120 liga speel. En dis eintlik ongelooflik om dit te besef. Ek dink in die wêreld, nee ek dink nie, ek is seker in die wêreld is daar geen unie wat 45 klubs het wat in 'n liga speel deur die jaar, net vir 120 rugby's nie. En ek dink vir die matriekseuns, jy weet, dit was van jare verskriklike slegte jare vir hulle, om nie te kan rugby speel. En my hart bloei vir daai kinders. Ek weet hoe graag ek op die veld wil wees. Ek kan nie dink hoe voel daai laities. As jy in die WP is, daar's genoeg geleentheid volgende jaar om rugby te speel. Daar's goeie geleenthede en ek sien uit daarna om die ouetjies volgende jaar by die klubs te sien.
Jerome, jy is die ou wat die spelers deur die structures bring. Jy bring hulle van die club structures deur na WP toe. Hoe doen ons onder 20s?
JP, volgende jaar, soos wat Andries nou sê, wat ons is eintlik al redelik voor met die onder 20 kompetisie in die WP in. So volgende jaar het SA Rugby onder 20 kompetisie, nie meer onder 21 nie. So ons het redelik, soos ek sê, ons is redelik voor met ons al lankal besig met die onder 20 kompetisie. So dit sal vir ons pas en omdat ook, en soos Andries ook gesê het, kyk, ons kontrakteer al hoe minder spelers, so ons gaan al hoe meer op die onder 20s wat in die klubs is, kyk na, en so dis maar die ouens vir die toekoms, ja.
Jerome, kom die coaches deur onder 20? Het ons genoeg coaches onder 20? Hoe doen die coaches?
Ja, kyk, JP, elke klub het natuurlik maar sy onder 20 coaches, soos hy sy derde span coach het hy al sy coaches daar. So hulle word maar meer, baie van die klubs, meeste van die klubs werk maar as 'n strukture werk maar van bo af. Van die eerste span coach is basies maar in beheer van die hele klub se coaching structures. Dis veronderstel om so te werk by, maar ek weet meeste van die klubs werk so. So hulle word maar gemonitor deur die hoofcoach van by die klub is, ja.
Ons het 'n game hierso, Durbel. Andries, jou span jou spanspelers hierso. Kom ons kyk gou hierso na. Ek weet jy het nou vir die groot baas hierso aan jou linkerkant. So hopelik het die ouens goed gespeel. Kom ons kyk.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Andries, vertel ons 'n bietjie wie daar gespeel.
Ja, ek is sommer hartseer, dis die laaste rugby wat ons gespeel het van jaar, JP. Maar ek kyk dit omtrent elke dag, want dit is al wat ek het om te kyk. Ons het by Kraaifontein rugbydag gespeel. Kraaifontein het elke jaar so rugbydag wat hulle 'n klomp 120 spanne die Vrydag laat speel, 'n paar skoolspanne die Vrydag laat speel en dan die Saterdag senior spanne laat speel. Nou ons het daai dag met 320 spanne gespeel. Ons is vanjaar bevoorreg om by die klub 320 spanne te hê.
Jerome, ons het nogal, ek meen van going what Andries is saying here, we've obviously got a lot of under 20 teams. The guys really, I mean, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for players that are going to come through the ranks.
Yeah, and it's good that that is the young guys that's the future basically of any rugby, of your club or of the province.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important for them, and that's why we were looking at the under 20 competition long ago, and also we encourage more clubs to get guys. As Andries was saying, now there's a lot of schoolboys after school. They don't know what to do. And there's a lot of clubs like 5 meters, 10 meters from where they are. So they must all just go and join and just go play. And what we're going to do, like in the past, we had under 19s, but there's no under 19s now. So next year, early next year, hopefully we'll start early with the rugby. And early next year, we will have under 20 trials where we normally invite all the clubs. They will send players, so every club player, and we go through every club player in trials, and it's a couple of trials because the under 20 competition, provincial competition, is going to start earlier next year.
Andries, that must be good news for your guys from an under 20 perspective.
Fantastic news, and we're not going to stop playing once we start. So Jerome, don't have to worry that it's early or late. We'll be ready to play. JP, it's interesting. Rugby is different in that we think everybody must be a Springbok at 19 years old. And that's not really the way it works. If you just look at the World Cup, I think I saw something that 13 of the 33 or 32 guys played SA schools. Only 13. Right. A lot of them didn't play even SA under 20. You know, if you look at the backline, Faf didn't play, Lukanya Am didn't play, Damien Dalende didn't play, Masakole Mapimpi didn't play, Willie Leroux didn't play, even SA under 20. And they're now the world champions. So there is a lot of development still taking place after school, and guys coming through after school, and guys getting seen.
Andries, ons sê vir jou baie dankie. Jerome, sê vir jou ook maar dankie en hopelik gesels ons weer volgende week.
Baie dankie, JP.
Thanks, JP.
There we go, folks. Andries Karstens, of course, the coach at Durban under 20, and joined there with Jerome Parvat at Western Province Rugby. And certainly, I think that's something we'll be looking at in the future, is taking a look at the under 20s and, of course, the under 21s, what they are busy with. All right, folks, our next interview coming up after the break. Zimasa Malunga is, of course, former captain at Langa. Langa had a fantastic season in 2019, promoted to Super League B, and of course they were busy getting ready to come out of the starting blocks for 2020. And you will of course remember that they played that fantastic game at Newlands against Scotstoun. We take a look at some of those highlights, and we catch up with Zimasa after the break. Don't go away. See you in a sec. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's of course Cape Rugby TV time. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. We've had some interesting, fascinating conversations so far this evening. But now it's time for us to turn our attention to another club that's been doing really well. They had a fantastic 2019 season. Of course, not quite able to get just out of the starting blocks just yet for 2020, but to tell me more about Langa Rugby Football Club season in 2019 and some of the aspirations for 2020, I'm joined now by former captain of Langa, Zimasa Malunga. Zimasa, nice to have you on air. How are things on your side?
Thanks for having me on the show, JP. Yeah, obviously we can't play rugby, so it's boring.
Big season for you guys in 2019. We've got one of the games that we're going to look at, your Newlands final there. You guys must be, firstly, very proud of the 2019 season.
Yeah, it was long overdue. I think we played in Super C for, 3 to 4 years or so. I can't remember very well, but yeah, it was long overdue. So getting promoted was, wow, it's the biggest achievement there. We were so excited.
Do you think that there would have been a whole lot of new components for 2019, new adjustments that you would have had to make as a club?
Yeah, definitely to league above where we played. So obviously for us to actually survive in Super League B and to adjust very, very, very well.
But going back to the 2019 season, what is it that made it work for you guys? What is it that, Langa plays incredible rugby, and that game that we're going to look at now that took place at Newlands, it just showed us again just the incredible talent at Langa. But there must have been a few things that brought you through the structures in 2019.
The mentality changed. We knew we had to fight harder. We spent a lot of years in Super League C, so we said, guys, in order for us to also push and actually get promoted to Super B, we need to work harder. So pre-season, firstly, things changed. Balls worked harder. The numbers at practice was actually the attendance was there. Guys actually practiced. Guys went to gym, in their spare time. So yeah, I mean, even the coaching staff, we've got a few guys. We've got Jonge Norquay as our head coach. So a lot of things changed, which needed to be changed in order for us to get promoted.
That's fantastic. Let's take a look at the game that you guys played at Newlands.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Zimasa, Newlands 2019, massive day for you guys. Win there over Scottsdene. Not an easy game, but it looks like you guys were playing out of your socks.
Not an easy game, man, I must say. It was very tough. They're very, very tough opposition. They beat us in the league, so we knew what we had to do in order to win the game. We said, we were already promoted going into this game to Super B. But we said, Luca, we have to win the league.
How was it playing at Newlands? I mean, we've seen these challenges now at Newlands. I mean, it must be quite exciting for you guys. I mean, we saw you in the change room. I'm not sure if you were in the Stormers change room or in the visitors change room, and walking through the tunnel. I mean, that's quite exciting.
It's always quite exciting playing at Newlands at JP. You go there to watch the Stormers, the Barks play. And when it's you, it's always quite exciting. And the changing rooms, everything is different. Club Rugby, you've got the small changing rooms, and now you get to Newlands, and everything's just massive. You've got your own cubicle to change, and it's crazy, man.
And we see that you guys have also been busy with some outreach projects at Langa, some incredible stuff that you guys are doing to help some of the local schools.
We've got a school in Langa, primary school in Langa, Mokona Primary School. Yeah. We are working with them. We've been working with them. So we during the lockdown period, obviously to help the needs, we were there helping. Just giving out food and
that's fantastic. You guys do an incredible job. We're very, very proud of you guys. Any shout outs from your side for players or members of the public, your fans?
Yeah, to all the fans. Firstly, they were right behind us last year. They've been behind us, struggling to go up to Super B. The fans were behind us, cheering us on every game. They were there. So a shout out to them and a shout out to every rugby player out there.
So Marcel, we're going to leave it at that. We'll say thanks to you for joining us, and obviously we say stay safe out there and stay isolated and practice all of the health and safety protocols.
Yeah, thanks JP. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been great.
Zimasa Malunga there, folks, former captain at Langa. Langa had a great season in 2019. Incredible match that was, of course, at Newlands. And, it's a pity the 2020 season hasn't quite kicked off the way that we would have liked it to. But we'll see what happens still later in the year. Maybe there's still announcements, some interesting announcements that helps the structures get back on the park, so to speak. Folks, that's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. We will, of course, see you again next week, same time, same place. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, and don't forget the repeat on Saturday mornings between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, in case you missed the Wednesday feature. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.